All right, Unit 3, video number 4, arithmetic sequence. So again, make sure this is written in your notes. We also want to have this written in the notes. Arithmetic sequence is the distance between one term and the next is a constant, so it's going to be the same. All right, let's look at a numeric example here. So my sequence is 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25. So we can write an arithmetic sequence as a rule we can use every time. Here is our rule, and you're going to need to get to know this rule. It will be on the board the day of your test, but you're going to need to know how to use it. So in this specific problem here, okay, my A is equal to my first term in the sequence. Okay, my D value is equal to the distance or the common difference, okay, that's going on between each term. That constant that was talked about in the definition from the first one. So in this problem right here, my A equals 1 and my D equals 3. So we can play with this. So we know that x sub n, we don't know which one we're looking for right now, is 1 plus 3 times n minus 1. And that n stays there because we don't have a rule for it yet. So that equals 1 plus 3n minus 3. I'm just simplifying here. So the equation for this would be 3n minus 2 if I asked you to find the equation for this actual sequence. All right, so now example 1 said, write the rule and calculate the 20th term. Now, I get it. You could say, hey, this is the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term, the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Well, Dr. Spears, I can just keep going, adding this up until I get the 20th. True. However, we want to make your life easier. You guys like to make your life easier. So I know A is equal to 3 because A is my first term. I know the difference that's happening every single time. If you look, they're having 5 added every single time. So I'm going to say D equals 5. Now let's not forget that formula, x sub n is equal to A plus D, parentheses, n minus 1. So now I need to plug things in, okay? Well, I do know this information right here. They want me to find the 20th term. So I'm really going to say x sub 20 is equal to 3 plus 5, parentheses, 20 minus 1. Okay, because they told me they want me to find that. So x sub 20 is equal to 3 plus 5 times 19. So x sub 20 is equal to 3 plus 95. X sub 20 is equal to 98. Now, if it asks, it did mention about the actual, write the rule. This is the rule. If I wanted to do it without that 20 there, okay, I would have written it as such here. I would go up here and I'd be like, okay, so x sub n is equal to 3 plus 5 n minus 1, because I don't know what the n is. X sub n is equal to 3 plus distribute 5n minus 5. So x sub n is equal to 5n minus 2. That would work every single time. You could use this new equation for this sequence. All right, this next part says the first term of an arithmetic sequence is 4, and the 10th term is 67. What is the common difference? Okay, so what do I know? I know that x sub 10 is equal to 67, and I know that A, or the first term, is equal to 4. I don't know what D equals, okay? I do know that my formula is x sub n is equal to A plus D n minus 1. So I'm going to start plugging things in that I know, okay? So if I'm talking about x sub 10, and I'm going to leave it at that right now, I do know my A, I don't know my D, and I know this is going to be 10 minus 1, okay? Now, looking back up here, I do know what my x sub 10 is, so I'm going to say, well, this really is 67, is equal to 4 plus, let's go ahead and simplify this down to a 9, okay? We're going to keep working. 67 is equal to, because notice now I only have the difference that I'm missing, Okay, I only have that variable of a d that I need to find, so I can do this. We've done it before. Let's subtract 4 to both sides, and I get 63 is equal to 9 times d. I'm going to divide both sides by a 9, and I'm left with d is equal to 7. So that would be my common difference. All I had to do was use the formula, plug in what I know, and solve for what I didn't know. Example 3, what is the 32nd term of an arithmetic sequence? So again, I need to use my formula. X sub n is equal to a plus d times n minus 1. So here I am looking for x sub 32 is equal to, well, my a is negative 12. Make sure you get that negative there, because that's my first term. Plus my d that's going on here is I am adding 5 each time. So I'm going to have a 5. And I know my n is 32 minus 1 there. So now I'm going to keep cruising through this problem. X sub 32, because they want to know what the 32nd term is. Negative 12 plus 5 of 31. All right. X sub 32 is equal to negative 12. 5 times 31 is 155. So x sub 32 is equal to 143. See how this process, if you just know how to use the formula, is so much better than if you started adding 5 each single time, getting all the way to 32nd to figure out that that is 143. This saves you a ton of time. All right, so this one, another one similar. What is the 50th term of the arithmetic sequence? So again, I don't want to waste my time trying to figure this out. So I say x sub n is equal to a plus whatever my d is, n minus 1. So I'm going to start plugging in what I know. So I know I'm looking for x sub 50. So my n value is 50. My a is 3 because it's my first term. I'm adding 4 each time. So I'm going to put 4 in for d. There. So, and I could have simply wrote to the side, a equals 3, d equals 4, because I'm looking, there's plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. In case you might want to do that if that helps you organize. All right, so now I've got x sub 50 is equal to 3 plus 4 times 49. So x sub 50 is equal to 3 plus 196. X sub 50 is equal to 199. So the 50th term of this arithmetic sequence is 199. Again, the formula totally saves you time. You'll have the formula when you take the test for this, but you need to know how to use it, and you need to understand what A is and what D is. Okay, the last example, and this one's going to take a while. It says the 5th term of an arithmetic sequence is 11, and the 10th term is 41. What is the first term? What is the common difference? Okay, so I'm going to have to use my formula more than once. So I know that x sub n is equal to a plus d times n minus 1. Okay, I know that x sub 5, okay, they told me what it is, but I'm going to start plugging this in. I don't know what my a is, but I do know that I have 5 minus 1. So x sub 5 I do know, which is 11, is equal to a plus d times 4. So 11 is equal to a plus 4d. I'm going to do the same thing with my 10th term. So x sub 10 is equal to the a plus d to the 10 minus 1. X sub 10 is equal to a plus d times 9. I do know what x sub 10 is. They told me 41 is equal to a plus 9d. All right, guess what? We're going to use systems of equations to solve this so that we can actually figure out what the first term is and what the common difference is. Okay, so I'm going to take this one on the left here, and I'm going to solve it for a. When I do that, I just need to subtract 4d to both sides, and I get 11 minus 4D is equal to A. Well, I'm going to plug that in to this other formula, and I get 41 is equal to 11 minus 4D plus 9D. So all that I did was I substituted in A for this. Okay? So, back to finishing this problem. 41 is equal to 11 plus 5D. Subtract 11 from both sides. 30 is equal to 5D. Divide both sides by 5. And D is equal to 6. So there I have found the common difference. To find the first term, guess what? I just need to go back over here because first term is A. So I just need to go back here, plug in my new D value into here. So A is equal to 11 minus 4 times 6. A is equal to 11 minus 24, which is negative 13 equals A. I have now solved for the common difference, and I have solved for the first term. There is my first term. There is my common difference using systems of equations.